Don't you just hate it when you make an awesome melody or an awesome drop melody and it's in C or in C sharp or in A flat or any of those weird keys where it's usually really difficult to get it to work with a kick, with the low end? Well, I have a technique that helps me get through that in a really great way. Hey, what's up? Husman here, and I've been working on a lot of tracks recently where I don't have the usual keys like D in between D or G or the keys that usually work for big room. So I really had to find a way to make the kicks work when they are not in these kind of keys. So I've actually been looking into a way to make this work, and actually found out when listening to hardstyle that usually what they do is their punch stays the same and it's just a tail that is changing. So I went about this approach as well. Of course, hardstyle doesn't work as much on 130 or 128 BPM. So what I'm doing is actually making my own punch with either distortion or without distortion, and then just layering it with all kinds of bass lines and sub basses from the big room genre, which creates a really cool hybrid kick, which I'm going to show you how to do today. So what I basically do, I make a kick, which is a punch. You can do this like with a sample, but I like to do it in a kick plugin because it gives me a lot of flexibility. Then I send this kick to a reverb with the LFO tool, so it's being sidechained. And then it's all about personal preference. From here you could also just start layering it with the big room tail, but I always like to make like a punch, so I made this punch here. Again, you hear the sidechaining reverb. Basically just EQ, distortion, EQ, distortion, EQ, and then I use the reverb. So if we go from nothing to what it's actually sounding like, it's just a punch in Serum that I made. It's just a sine wave which goes in the pitch up and down, or like only from up to down. And then if you apply the first EQ, we boost the frequencies, we distort it. And back in the days we used to use microtonic, and that was basically where I'm at now with this sound. That's basically how far I would get. But then I learned that you have to EQ that again. So more of a talky feel. Then again a distortion. And then with the LFO tool you can again so you can see you can make a lot of iterations really quick. And then if we combine the two, we got a kick. And then I usually just bounce them as one with everything together, and then a few with less stuff on it. And then I go into the main project. So let's see how this sounds in a full track. This is the project for the specific remix that I'm working on. And I loaded the kick in here in the Nimble Kick plugin, which is basically a really great pitch shifting plugin for kick drums where you can separate the tail and all kinds of cool stuff. So on its own, it sounds like this. And then what I do, I layer it with a tonal bass from just any sample pack, which has a nice tone to it. So that's the kick. Just sidechain that. And already when you combine the two, it already feels like a cool hybrid with a cool low end that fits much better to the big room genre. And then I always have like a little character bass going over it. And then if you add all the cool stuff. And the main cool thing is when you need to change the key, it's really easy. You just take the low end, make it a little bit differently, and also just tweak the main kick with a MIDI. It's super. And there's even an option where you can instantly just separate the tail. So you just change the tail. And that's mainly really good if you have like a kick which already has everything in one sample. So if you want to use a hardstyle kick from a sample pack, that's also really great. But yeah, that's a technique that I use a lot, and I really think is a technique that could help you a lot with your production, because it's a really great way to make your kick smooth in different kind of keys than you would usually be able to get them to sound right in the high end most of the time. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. We hope this gives you some insight into making kick drums, making cool, unique kick drums that you can make your own. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like what I do, hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe. Should you want to be part of an awesome community, head over to my Discord below. And if you want some monthly samples, monthly sounds, or learn from other people, head over to my Patreon where I share cool stuff each month. If you're a gamer, please head also over to my Discord to be the first to know about my game, Wrath of the Mad King, the game that I'm currently working on. But that's all for me this week. I really hope you have an awesome week, and I'll see you all on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.